Hello and welcome to Destiny Digits. This is the Soul Urge number 2 reading. So if your soul urge number is 2, that means that you are alrighty. If your soul urge number is 2, that means that you are motivated by the energies of 2, which is cooperation, it's partnership, it's about being, just a really sensitive and diplomatic, warm soul, right? Like people, hold on, there's one under, there we go. You balance people, right? You don't mind softening your own energies to just absorb other people and to just give them space to exist. You're very intuitive, right? You naturally adapt to people. You're very peaceful. People trust you. You're a good partner, right? So love and relationships, that could be something that's important to you. But nonetheless, your soul urge talks about what motivates you, what propels you. And so it could be love, but it could also just being a good companion, being the romantic that you know or don't know that you are. The first card that comes out is potential. And so Spirit is saying that something has the potential of being. This is a card of a mountain, right? And the background is really starry. And so I feel like Spirit is saying, something that you're involved in has the potential to grow and to be seen by many, but also to be unshakable. Like it'll be stable. Um, Something that you can build upon, something that you can rely on. And so if you are working on building something, maybe this potential is in a connection. Maybe it's somewhere, but think about what you are currently partnering yourself with, and maybe you are wondering if it did have potential, and maybe this is some sort of confirmation. Next card, we have simplicity. So I feel like Spirit is saying what you're working on is definitely has potential to be something great, and long lasting. And as you continue, take into account simplicity. Um, Maybe doing less, not being so overwhelmed or feeling, pushed to overdo things to get a certain outcome. Um, just making sure that, you're just showing up naturally, holistically, and you are just not overwhelming yourself or overcomplicating things with just too many moving parts, emotions, feelings, behaviors, plans. Just kind of doing less. Just being light. Just being light, easy breezy, being flexible. You know, attempting to be comfortable and fluid. And then lastly, we have diligence. So I feel like this is really scoping out your landscape, scoping out what it is you desire, seeing it, and then doing everything it takes to achieve whatever it is, right? So if that means you have to, get up at a certain time every day, if that means you have to eat a certain way, or if it means that you have to sacrifice certain things, nonetheless, it is the way that you show up. It is so consistent and is so thorough that what you desire is literally just a step away. Because energetically, that's where your behavior, your focus, and your energy is gone. At the bottom of the deck, we have flow. And I feel like Spirit is asking you to go with the flow in a situation where things may be unclear or unknown. We do have the moon. This is a card that is taking place at night. Things are kind of still. It's hard to see, And so I feel like this is a message to Spirit saying, the what is to come isn't clear. And so go slow, right? Just go with the flow. Move as things move naturally, but don't try to push things, you know, at a speed that you've created. Make sure that things are going as they naturally would, and adjust yourself so that you can kind of go with that energy too, right? But there are things that you don't know. There are things that you can't see, right? But Spirit has already guaranteed and confirmed that potential is a part of what you can't see. This requires simplicity and diligence. Now, next to potential, we have ancient wisdom. So I think of the Hierophant, I think of the Hermit, I think of, any type of sage energy. But maybe this is what people have considered you to be. Maybe people have spoken to you about you feeling like, you're an old soul, or you've been here before, or you always know what to say, or you're very comforting, or you're just very peaceful and easy to talk to. But I feel like it's just in your energy, you know, it's because you possess ancient wisdom. Naturally, just your soul is an old soul. Maybe it's lived many lifetimes. It's acquired many, many experiences, right? And it is because of this wisdom. It is because of the gift of knowledge that you have from long, long ago that you have a certain potential about you, right? You can tap into things, you can tap into people, places, and things. You can go deeper and further because of the wisdom that you possess, but also because of what it means to be a two. You working with another is what you do energetically, right? Next to simplicity, we have source. And so I feel like this is saying to really surrender and recognize that in this phase, you are not supposed to be doing most of the work. This is really in the hands of the divine, and divine timing is at play. And so if we do want something to speed up or to happen, or we have so much, we have a lot of questions about what's to come or how, whatever. I feel like this is when we just have to say, you know what? If I have this many questions, then this is not yet supposed to be something that I'm able to know and understand. And I don't want to push past that, so I surrender all that to Source, the divine, and I say, please reveal this to me in the time that's needed. And in the meantime, what should I be working on? But Spirit has already said diligence, right? Effort, input, consistency. Next to diligence, we have spiritual awakening. And so you are going through a spiritual awakening. That is what you're working with. That is what's happening. That is a very personal thing, but it does impact the relationships and spaces that you're involved in. And so this spiritual awakening is causing you, Spirit is saying that you're going to have to be diligent and push through. This is not going to always be comfortable, right? So you are going to be learning things. You are going to be, shedding uncomfortable things, working in the shadow, right? But this journey has a lot of potential because of what you already possess in you. And so when things are tough, when you're not really sure how to push forward, do less and surrender to Spirit. Do less and ask, right? Don't do too much, because most of what you are about to step into is new. So you really don't even know how to operate in this space in your own energy, in the form that you're about to take, right? But just realize that you will have to consistently show up. Just agree to walk out this mission and path no matter what, to take the good and the bad. And that when you give it your all, it will give its all to you. The extra card that came out was healthy boundaries. And so as a two, remember, you are always like, balance and boundaries are necessary for you, because partnerships are something that you are able to master. And so maybe somewhere in life, if this is just a little nugget, healthy boundaries. Are you learning to create them? Must you create them? Is it time to kind of rewrite them? Are you being depleted energetically because somebody else is bleeding way too far into your space, or just requiring way too much of you? Are you self-deprecating in any way? So healthy boundaries, keep that in mind. All right, and at the bottom of the deck, we have sexuality. Oh, this card really talks about, and it's next to flow. So sexuality and flow. I feel that this is just saying to go with what you feel. Go with what you feel. Go with the flow. Don't go with any box, any mindset, any thought, any restriction. And this means what it means to every and anyone. This really, I'm thinking about myself. Identify as a female, currently in heterosexual relationships, but I have a very masculine energy. And so me embracing, accepting, and just surrendering to the female energy is uncomfortable, right? Just because that's not That's not really me, but it is necessary for me to step into that energy if I want to grow into just the best version of myself. I need to explore all aspects. And so when I see that card, that's what I think of for me. But what does sexuality mean for you? What does it mean currently right now in the space in your life when we're talking about how you show up, present, and explore the intimate parts of your own space, right? This is about you being your own romantic partner. What does that look like in your life? Do you turn, I don't know if I can say, yeah, what does that look like in your life? Are there blocks? Are you rigid? Are you open? Do you embrace? Do you allow, romance to just come in? Do you accept love? Do you have blocks? So nonetheless, just think of all of that when you're thinking about what the sexuality card means for you. All right, first card out, we have Judgment, Eight of Pentacles, Three of Cups, Seven of Pentacles. All right. Center card, we have Five of Cups, followed by the Hermit. So the center card is kind of, just that's kind of like our focus energy that kind of sets up the story. And so the Five of Cups is the energy of, feeling loss, feeling regret and sadness and just hopelessness for anything that is to come because of, all that's been taken away from you. Bottom of the deck is Nine of Wands. Okay, guys. All right, twos, here we go. So Nine of Swords, not Nine of Wands. Nine of Swords, like not being able to sleep, like our mind is racing, like we can't turn it off. It is wrecking our peace. Our nerves are destroyed, right? That's the overall energy. And in the center, what could be pushing us to that sleepless space is because we are literally in regret about something that was lost. There was something that we were investing ourselves in. There was something that we thought that if we sowed this, we would get this out. But it seems like even after we put in what we thought was the best, or, we thought it was a fair version of what we could give to a situation, it seemed like it may not have amounted to something. And so now we really aren't sure where to go. But the beautiful thing is that behind this person are two cups standing, which means the opportunity and the possibility for more is here, but you're going to have to do some dark work, right? So the Hermit definitely talks about going in, but this is also an energy that is not afraid of the darkness. They have their staff. They have their lantern, right? So sometimes when this is going into the shadow. This is understanding that you are about to work through things that you probably have neglected or pushed down. And so when we have the Simplicity card, Spirit is saying, be mindful of how much work and energy you are putting into a situation. Yes, we want to reap what we sow, but just make sure, that we are doing it in a way that is beneficial for all. Like we've really thought and analyzed this situation, right? And so when Spirit says simplicity, I guess Spirit is just saying less is more, you know? Um, And then the Hermit is really talking about our connection to Source. When we are in this space of transforming, the spiritual awakening that we were talking about, when we are literally becoming a brand new version of self, sometimes there have to be things that push us into these, that literally shove us into these dark spaces that we have refused to go in, right? And so what a relationship could shove us into a dark space. A job experience could shove us there. Poor health or just struggles with our health could put us there. So there are many situations in life that put us in dark places where Source is really the only available relief, answer, connection, light, life, or opportunity to us. But that's the point. It's for us to understand where we end and Source begins, right? There are situations that are way bigger than us. Well, who's responsible then, right? And what is my connection to that Source, to the divine? What relationship do I have with source? Because when I get in these dark spaces and I realize that I don't have the control, how can I connect with source to keep me stable so I don't lose control while the divine does the work it needs to do on me and through me as I endure these situations. So that's what the hermit's about. So beneath this the 5 of cups is the king of cups, and that's, maybe this is your energy. Maybe you are somebody that really shows up to things with your heart open. You give love, you accept love, you're emotionally stable. You're just a very warm and loving, just protective type of energy. But maybe you had to learn healthy boundaries. Maybe you were giving yourself to situations that really were taking more from you, right? They were depleting you, but you were trapped. You thought that if I keep giving to this, it will grow. But unfortunately, we have the 8 of Swords here, which is like being trapped in this mental space. And so we have diligence. If we continue to do the same thing, maybe it'll free us. But unfortunately, if the thing that we're doing is wrong, then it's always going to be wrong. And so this is really awakening to how we can do our life differently, right? This is about really understanding our power and our strength when we are in situations that are pushing us into these dark spaces, because they're misusing or abusing us possibly in some way. Um, and so I feel like, this is somebody who was just mentally imprisoned to what they were capable of doing, right? And so remember the healthy boundaries card that came out. And so, you know, yeah, I feel like this could be a situation where someone was taking advantage of. And maybe that someone was you. And maybe you did have to endure some type of loss because of unhealthy boundaries, right? And maybe you jump into situations, hoping that everybody is similar to you, this King of Cups energy. This is how you embrace life. This is how you embrace love in situations. But sometimes we're not always able to see what the outcome could be, if the people aren't right, or if we're leading, or if we're doing too much of the work, you know? And so there was a connection. Um, there was a connection that I feel like you were willing to be a part of, but you couldn't see. But this is what propelled you. And when I say connection, it doesn't have to be love. It could just be something that you were emotionally attached to. But there was something that you weren't able to see. But it was something that you were all in. It was something that you took a leap of faith in. But that leap of faith, you jumping into this, no matter whether it crashed and burned or not, you jumping into this is what moved you to also be able to jump into this hermit phase when it was time to repair and to connect with the divine. So that's that energy within you that is just willing to go after what it is you desire. And if your heart is always at the center, then you're never going to go wrong. So even when experiences seem to go wrong, they're right for you because they're growing you. Even when they're extremely uncomfortable, they're still doing the job, so to speak, right? And so when it's time to come out of this loss, right? When we're overcoming this regret, now it's time to really focus our energy on what it is that we want to do. What do we want to, where do I want to apply myself? What do I want to create? What will bring me the most joy? What will allow me to celebrate the successes? What will give me victory, right? And so, after you step or transition from this loss, this regret, this not being able to sleep, just this energy of really being broken to being in pieces, and now it's time to get put back together again. This is when divine judgment comes in. This is when spirit comes in, and then this is when we have no choice but to accept that this is an awakening. This is a leveling up, right? so we can level up. This is our opportunity to level up. And sometimes the most uncomfortable things in life, that tells you, uh-oh, I'm about to level up. This doesn't feel right. This actually feels very wrong. I'm about to learn something here. But nonetheless, this judgment card reveals to you that you have a potential that you do not yet see. And the work that you do will require you to apply the ancient wisdom that you have, that you are a part of, that was a part of your lineage, that you are tapped into, right? That you can still connect to. So as you move forward, you are understanding who you are spiritually. But it took deep emotional loss to get you to this sunken place to even recognize that source was the next step. That's what I feel that this is speaking of, right? And so sometimes we have to have unhealthy boundaries with people so that we can have a healthy boundary with the divine, right? And we have to learn that. Now, the extra cards that came out, we had two of them. So we have Ace of Pentacle and Six of Cups. So Ace of Pentacle is like being given a seed. And if you plant this seed and you nurture it and you give it light and you give it space, it will grow and it will become this. But you have to do the work if you want to see it grow. That's the Pentacle. That's the Ace of Pentacle. This is an opportunity to have something that can turn into something tangible, abundant, some type of wealth, right? And so this sometimes is what we say, this is the spirit giving you something that you can chase, something that you can create, something that you can birth and develop, right? This can take you down a whole new path if you choose. And then we have this Six of Cups. And the other extra card was the healthy boundaries. So now I'm like, maybe there's an opportunity that you have with okay, let's just break this down. So Six of Cups is an energy of the past. Why? Because it's referring to a place of innocence, right? A place where we didn't know. So most times childhood is innocent, but also past life, because in this life we are innocent and ignorant to what we did then. And sometimes we don't understand the energy that we're in, or the people that we're crossing, or the situations that are playing out in our life. That's an energy from the past. But nonetheless, I feel, this is about a rekindling. And so if there is something in you that is resurfacing as a part of what has been broken, but also rediscovered, if there's something in you that is coming alive that you found when you went into hermit, if the divine has spoken to you, in this period of judgment, what potential has been revealed to you? What can you use to tap into and to rekindle the sweetest parts of you, the most truest parts of you? Right? And so I feel like sometimes maybe there was a relationship in your past that seemed like it broke you, but it actually was an opportunity to grow you, right? And that's really crazy, but that's really what life is. That's just really what life is. It's a guarantee that you're going to have both the good and the bad, right? But they're always going to be for your good. That's the other side of the deal. All right, too. So hopefully you have moved through this loss, grief, despair, not being able to sleep energy. Hopefully you are stepping into whatever this awakening is for you. And remember, sexuality came out. Even if you have to look up the formal definition of that word to really just break it apart inside of you. If you are just curious about, why did that card come out for me? What does that mean for me? Because it means so many things. I'm actually being called to read it. So if you don't mind, I'll read it. Okay. And then we will let that be our ending. Sorry, it always takes me so long. There it is, 63. Okay, I found it. Okay. I'm going to go to the part. Okay. So it says, this powerful card indicates it is time to open up to the powerful life force energy of the cosmos and to your own sexuality. The universal creative energy flows through you deeply at all times and is a natural part of life. It is now time to heal any wounds around sexuality and come back into your power, working with this energy consciously in your life. Your sexual energy is your creative energy. Opening up to this dynamic essence can transform your world. The Divas emphasize that your sexuality is a sacred and integral part of who you are. Work with them as you open and heal old perceptions, wounds, and even judgments you have made around sex. Once you release negative beliefs and restrictions, you will set yourself free. The Divas urge you to honor yourself as a divine and sacred sexual being. If you're uncomfortable or feel you have wounds about sexuality, seek the support and guidance of a professional who can assist your healing process and allow this part of you to heal, grow, and express itself. You are also guided to work closely with the magical medicine. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, croquet, to support your awakening to the life force energy of the cosmos. It is time to set yourself free and dance in the sexual creative energy of the universe in a positive light. So, this activates the Kundalini energy. It invokes deep sexual and life force energy. It deepens connections to sensuality, enhances tantric union, assists in expressing creativity. So I think it's beautiful as a two that that's the card that you got. Because when you open up to your own inner charm and vibration, it really makes a difference in the connections that you have with others, and that's what motivates you as a two. It's those partnerships, it's those unions, right? It's the duality, it's the balance of energies that you have, versus what another has. All right, twos, hopefully something in here is beneficial for you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Take care.